Let's talk about sex, baby. Let's talk about you and me. I'm gonna get sick of these eventually, but until that day happens, we're gonna keep doing them.
We don't have time to honestly get sick of them. Like I just want to see what you pull out at this point. And I mean, compared to last week, you're prepared.
The shade, but the truth. We love it. Hi, Jack.
Hi, Alex. It's great to see you again.
Always a pleasure to see you. And what an episode we get to cover on this. I don't even know what the date is, but on this wonderful, wonderful day that we are talking about Ascendance here on Recendance.
Yes.
Go ahead.
I mean, a very interesting episode. We honestly saw a lot of last week play into this one, where it's essentially just all of the evolving storylines. And we see a pretty, honestly, massive hit in terms of overnight strategy go out here, which is insane.
We have so much to talk about, and we have quite the dynamic duo of guests that are going to be breaking down the episode with us. I'm excited and mutually terrified at the same time. So before we get into that and bring in our illustrious guests, we have a few people to thank.
Yes, as always, thank you to first the team at Subversion, specifically Lee, for giving us access to the StreamYard in order to film this in. In addition, thank you to Duke and the Lost at Sea channel for giving us a place to post this. If you want a considerably shorter recap of each episode with some opinions from Duke and Scott, you can check out the Descendants on the same channel. And of course, thank you to the Ascendance team for our blessing to do this, and also Papa for the lovely graphics that we have going on this entire time.
Yes. Thank you to everyone who helped make our dream of talking about ourselves on camera a reality. Thank you so much. You're the wind beneath our wings.
And speaking of people talking about themselves on camera, we have two lovely players from this week's episode. First, we do have the unfortunate boot of the episode, getting caught in a little bit of malpractice. It is Ken. And of course, the yin to Ken's yang.
Wait, what? I said anyone but Maddie. I said anyone.
Surprise! Happy birthday!
Well,
Christmas came early for Ken. Christmas came early.
You're welcome.
How are you both doing?
Fine.
I'm riding high. I'm loving life. I'm thriving. I feel like I have just like a really huge weight off my back. Huge weight.
Which weight would that be?
Guilt.
Guilt?
No,
Guilt. Shame.
The weight of a doctor riding me hard.
Yeah. No, I've done like around 5 allergies since then. So it's been so many allergies in the past. It's hard to remember or really care about. But
it's hard. It's hard to have a system of measurement for success because Ken is just killing everything he does. So.
Yes, doing amazing.
Doing amazing work. Well, thank you both so much for being with us here tonight. We are very excited for this episode because quite a lot happens. They crammed in a lot of action in one little episode. So we're coming into the episode just after the Marchand vote. Did either of you have either any thoughts about the Marchand vote, or Rose starts the episode mentioning that she was okay being a pawn? Any lingering, lasting thoughts before we just full on go episode 5?
I will just say, had I been able to vote in the Marchand vote, and had I had a say there, that would not have happened on my watch. Never.
Oh.
Never a goddess down. She is everything. And
were you guys close?
We actually became like pretty close during a couple of the night phases, and we talked a lot. And Love Daughter, she was there when I found the pendant, but was like the happier half of the people who were there for me.
Wait,
and,
was someone not happy about you finding that pendant? I don't seem to remember that.
Oh goddamn.
No. Yeah, there was somebody. And Marshawn's just the sweetest. So shout out to Marshawn. Love
I mean,
Marshawn.
day one, me, Veronica, and Charlie, like, okay, like, Marshawn and Sedona are looking for our pendants, like, very overtly. They're the two easiest boots.
Yeah.
So I wasn't surprised that he was going. I mean, I was surprised because I thought all my allies were voting for Jack, but no, of course not. I'm the only one voting for Jack. I'm like, what the fuck? I don't have any allies. That's when I started to panic, and I'm like, okay, I guess I can't go after Jack because no one's gonna vote for him with me. So no one told me the plan. Actually, I thought it was either me or him, and then Marshawn went home.
Well, that definitely does come into play into this episode. Because that is something that does come up while we're kind of strategizing, but we obviously don't want to jump too far ahead. So jumping into episode 5, we do start with our captain's challenge or challenge, if I do say so or can say so. So yeah, we had. Why am I blanking on it? It's in my notes. What was this challenge?
Traps.
Yes. Okay.
Okay.
We have Majestic Circus. It's like every Ascendance player who follows the show. It's what they hope for. It's what they dream for. We love a Majestic Circus challenge.
Lee was ready to full on collapse on the floor and go home via medevac right after the challenge. Like, he had all his life's wishes fulfilled at that point. And like, you know what? That's real. Those games are genuinely fun.
Very, very valid feelings. I have a trauma response to traps because jumping right into it, I'm the third person to go and I find the first trap. So nothing does as much for your self-esteem as literally having 22 options and 6 of them being incorrect. So I had 18 options. No, I can't do math. 16 that were correct. Yeah, and the fact that they made a poodle, a ewe, and a water buffalo or animal emoji before a fox is riggery. But anyway.
Justice for fox. But
so justice for the fox.
Justice for squirrel, too. I mean, everyone's talking about hiding nuts and stuff. There should be a squirrel emoji. The joke's already there, you know?
Yeah. Well, that was a fun challenge I barely got to participate in. But we do see Maddie crush it from the first group because he was the only person who moves on, as he very humbly mentioned at the end of round 1.
It's just emojis, man.
I mean, I even say it in the episode, like, hey, I mean, we just need to pick a good category. And apparently, we picked the worst one by far. This was a slaughter.
Ever were the category. I wanted different categories, man, but it's okay. I got out.
What was it, Jack? You were in our group, right?
Yes, all 4 of us here were in the same group, along with Reynolds, Stevie, and Derek.
There you go. Well, justice for fox, justice for squirrels, and Maddie absolutely crushes it. What was it? Do y'all remember having like a particular level of stress during that competition? Were you relaxed about it? What were your thoughts about the challenge overall?
We didn't know how many captains there was going to be, and it didn't really.
It was like a question of probability, just like deduction, educated guessing. You know, it was pretty chill. It was chill.
After I saw the other categories like Dr. Seuss, I'm like, okay.
I was devastated on Dr. Seuss because I was so confident on Dr. Seuss.
Masked Singer, I wouldn't know either. So I'm like, all right, it's good I went out early because I wouldn't have known any of this.
Literally every other category presented, I would have been fine with. It was literally just the one category where I'm like, great. This feels like complete shot in the dark to me. I mean, I'd been on a network show a month earlier. I will mention that anytime I can. But I mean, funnily enough, not the only one on this cast. They still made more than me.
Go ahead. Sorry.
But yeah, no, this was not a good challenge for me. I was like, great, okay.
Well, the next category was Emerald Agassi's lasagna recipe, which I'm like, I think I've had meat lasagna in my life. I've been a vegetarian for 20 years. I've had meat lasagna maybe 3 times in my lifetime, so I would have done worse probably than the animal hieroglyphics, if you can even believe it.
Would you have though? Because meat is only like one ingredient, so you just had to like choose a meat.
And that was the thing. I think there were a lot of meats that were chosen or in the recipe, and I just would have been like, well, you're only going to have one type of meat, right? You're not going to put lamb.
Either way. Yeah.
Things meat eaters know that I just don't. So we have clearly that group does. Sorry?
Emerald is just so dated too. That's an old recipe, baby.
You're not wrong. That being said, so the second group does significantly better than our, round one group. So they kind of put us to shame. And then we get into the Dr. Seuss round, and that knocks out, I think, everybody but Maddie, Lee, and Rose. Or no, Rose and Lee.
There's a round in between.
I got knocked out in Dr.
Did I skip
Seuss
one?
because I was convinced Are You My Mother was written and illustrated by Dr. Seuss, but it was only written.
I thought the same thing.
Are You My Mother? Iconic. Go read that if you haven't read Are You My Mother. The answer
I was
is
like,
yes.
because reading is what?
Fundamental. I don't know how.
But yeah, we do have in Heat 2, Molly, Antoinette, Rose, Andrew, Sam, Lee, and Monty going, with only Molly going out. I believe on either her first or second guess, which is really unfortunate. Everyone else makes it through, including Sam, who is a vegan and does not know what goes into meat lasagna. And then we have the Masked Singer at winners and runner-ups.
That's right.
And you forgot about this because literally only Monty goes out here. Everyone else just sails through the round without issue, which is kind of incredible.
So I remember talking about the Masked Singer like earlier in the time, and when it came up, I feel like I just like felt his face go. Oh my god!
What was it? He manifested that category for sure.
Yeah,
I definitely remember it coming up in night one. I think just as like a passing conversation. Yeah. But I'm not 100%.
And therefore I knew that Lee was into the Masked Singer because of that conversation. Tune it in, Jack. Tune in.
So the second category, as we've already mentioned, is Dr. Seuss written and illustrated books. Yeah. And this takes everyone out but Lee and Rose. So
icons.
Just looking at the remaining field, Ken, Maddie, with only Lee and Rose left, did you have a preference if there was only going to be one captain, which of the two it was?
I talked way more with Lee than Rose. I mean, Lee's very good at making everyone feel very comfortable and like that he makes you think that you're working with him. Rose, I had sort of kind of targeted since day one. She wouldn't tell us about her job. It was very secretive. She seemed very smart. So I had put an initial captain vote on night one on her. So, I wasn't really working with her at all, really.
I think it's so interesting how you voted for people for captain who you just like didn't want to work with. We were thinking opposite on that, but that's fine. I personally didn't really care who the one would be because I had already decided at that point that I would be doing that thing. I guess I would have preferred Lee to win it out just because I didn't want to like make an enemy out of Rose, who I was also looking at that time as a big threat. And I felt like Lee, well, he might be mad, like we could repair it. We might be able to repair it a little more. Yeah. So Lee.
I will note that really quick. We just have the final round, and it is a really quick final round where Lee, by random choice, gets his category. Rose goes first and immediately hits a trap, meaning that Lee is first place and Rose is second. It's revealed that both are becoming captains, so there's no... both of them are safe and both of them are good to go. In terms of the captains, interviews, we kind of have Rose saying that this has expanded a target on her back a little bit, and that she's kind of looking for Lee's guidance in order to do anything here, but looking, funnily enough, to extend the feud between Ken, myself, and Maddie.
What is it about each other that you three just can't get along? I'm just kidding.
I felt like me and Jack were fine at that time, although I'm not sure if you feel the same way at this moment in time.
I was.
Oh, okay.
I mean, Ken and I had. So the thing is, I don't remember if I had actually thrown out Ken's name. I believe I had heard that you had said my name the night before, and as such, I was like,
well,
maybe I should target Ken, because that's not good, and I don't like that. But I genuinely believe that Marshawn threw out your name, not me, and I just went, okay.
Watching the clip, it did seem like Marshawn said my name.
But of course, I'm naturally more suspicious because there's been more between us.
Someone did tell me, but I don't remember who said it. I don't.
Marshawn was the vote for you in the round that he won, so that makes sense.
I didn't know that either.
I love that for Marshawn. Love her.
Wait, Ken, did you have any theories on who you thought the vote for you was the round that Marshawn went?
No, I think. Oh God,
it's hard to remember sometimes. Like, I wish I had journaled far more than I did.
Jack knows I'm coming for him, why isn't he voting for me? Because no one told me that the final decision was Marshawn. Like, in the episode, as you can see, none of the girls were like, oh, we decided on Marshawn, actually. So I still thought it was between me and Jack. And then Molly, when she voted, she came back, she tapped me on the leg. I'm like, oh, thank God, I'm safe. And then when Marshawn only got one vote, what the fuck is happening? Or Jack's only got one vote. I'm like, okay.
Ooh.
I literally felt really blindsided because I thought I was good with all these girls. I thought I was confident that they would vote with me, and instead they voted someone I wasn't even targeting, which didn't really make sense to me. So I felt kind of alone after that episode. I wrote out,
yeah. I mean, I was just as confused because I was barely let in of like, hey, it's gonna be Marshawn. I said. So basically, none of the conversations this round mattered.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. You were like, as long as they don't spell Marshawn Jack, he was happy. He was not
basically,
exactly.
Yeah.
So we do see. Oh, go ahead, Ken.
Well, just think about it this way: I felt close enough with Molly. Yeah, I felt very close with Molly. Yeah, and I thought me and Ants weren't working together. So if I'm looking at them like, hey, Jack's coming after me, I want to go after him, and none of them vote with you against someone that's coming after you, and then they don't even tell you about it. Like, that should set off wild alarms, which it really, really did. So after that round, I'm like, okay, so where do I go from here? And I'm like, is this more about Jack than me? Is it more like they just didn't want to take out Jack, so I had to pivot for the next vote, as we can talk about?
Yeah. I was like, oh, we'll talk about. No, I'm kidding. So we do see Lee and Rose take the title, and then we also see someone reveal a little hidden something in Maddie doing a honorary captain advantage.
Powers in this game.
So many powers in this game. So I don't know about everybody else. I'm pretty confident there's like a brief moment where you see my reaction, which is
Molly's literally like. It's so funny. Yes.
I was shocked. I wanted to throw up. I didn't know what to do. I'm like, yeah.
So, Maddie, walk us through why specifically this round as opposed to any of the former rounds or any of the future rounds. Walk us through the decision on when you use the power and why.
Okay, so it like kind of started like the night before when the conversations that we saw in episode was the night
4.
Episode, the last episode. Where Ken is, confiding in Derek that he wants to come for moi. Which you swore up and down that you didn't say, and it's
we'll
on
talk about that because I don't think I did.
The dolls are fighting. The dolls are fighting. The dolls are fighting.
And so I genuinely did, like, I was okay with working with or not going after Ken, like, for a little while longer, like, genuinely, if I hadn't had heard that. But when I was informed by Derek and then once everything with Stevie started to happen and their connection was clear in the game, I started to worry about that.
You heard it here first.
So then in round 4 voting, I very quickly caught on to that people were not voting for Ken that round, even though, Jack, I love it. I loved when you brought it up and that you did that on your own volition and I didn't have to do anything. And it just showed me that Ken was becoming a bigger target and the only thing stopping people from coming for him was the temptation of keeping us at odds with each other as well as Jack. So I just like was nervous, obviously, that like where would it fall? I felt like if it came between me and Ken, like it might go Ken, but you never know. You just never know. And yeah, so I did it just to take myself out of the equation because I did feel like he would feel threatened by the last round and therefore go forward and throw a name out to save himself, which I predicted based on a few factors, like including the challenge with that you guys had together, that it might be you, Alex. So I and it kind of like, as we'll see later, it was beautiful. So I claimed that safety. I think it was probably for the best. I think if I lost that challenge, I was definitely or had to participate, and I have an awful memory, so I would have sucked at that.
Yeah.
I would have probably been in a little trouble this round.
Got it.
And more trouble the last round with me and Alex doing the Polique alphabet because Stevie almost threw to take out Maddie. And
well, yeah,
but you found the pendant, so Stevie didn't throw, and that just changed the whole course of history. But to be fair, I've been told in previous games, like, oh, Ken, you're trying to control too much. You're like trying to talk with everybody. So that's why when I pulled Derek aside, I'm like, Derek, I'm not telling you what to do on your team. You have to choose between Maddie and Stevie because they're coming for each other. And that night, he actually told me, I'm working with Maddie more, so I'm going to go with Stevie. I'm like, that's fine. I'm okay with that. And then later, I guess Derek changed his mind, and Derek found the pendant, or I don't know what. And then he changed back. He basically told me he was going to work with you and then not work with you, and then it changed back to you. So it had to do with something with the pendant, it had something to do with Stevie, but I was trying to say, like, I'm not trying to control the game. I was saying, look at both sides. And yes, I said, if you did take out Maddie, he's also working with all other people, including Jack. So one of them should go, but that's on one side of the equation. I wasn't telling him what to do. Or I wasn't saying, hey,
do this. You were telling anybody what to do, but you definitely showed your cards by showing that you were willing to get rid of me. And then really, I wasn't coming for Stevie. Like the second that Stevie left that picnic table, he went around telling everybody that I had threatened him and that I had a pendant, like before I had a chance to do anything, which is tea. So then everybody's coming to me and saying, Maddie and Stevie are going for each other. Girl, I haven't left this picnic table in hours. I'm just sitting here and talking to people and smoking cigarettes and chilling. And so I don't know, but
enjoying that Diet Coke.
It, but Derek was definitely might have considered, if the numbers weren't in my favor, going that way. But you also have to consider that challenge. Everybody was operating under the assumption for some reason that only one team was going to elimination. 2 teams were going to elimination. It didn't have to be me or Stevie, and I'm pretty confident that if we did, and the same team, like if let's say Yellow and your guys' team lost, like Jack, you could have been in trouble still there. Like
I probably would have gone home, yeah.
But everybody is very confident that Maddie would have been in deep doo-doo had that not happened. But it would have been an odd numbered round, so I would have played the pendant.
Fair.
I definitely have had a couple of lucky breaks so far, especially in round 1 and round 4, where some extraneous circumstances have led people to look away from me, even if my name has been out there. So,
well,
I'm so
sometimes
glad you're here. Glad you're still there, hanging in, baby.
It's my natural state, just being afraid.
Y'all have
you come across so different in your like confessionals than you did like when you were there. I was like, it's okay. He's in the game. He's confident. He's staying calm, cool, and collected, and like getting through it. And you're just like, oh no, oh my god! I didn't know it was all going inside. You're really struggling, boo.
I was a complete mess internally.
Oh,
Okay, so back to Maddie becoming captain. I'm like, oh shit, he's gonna pick me on his team, set me up for failure, pick all my non-allies, and I'm gonna get voted out. So I looked at Rose, and you can see me in the video looking at her, begging her to choose me with desperation, and she does. Thank God. That really made me feel surprised because I'm like, I'm not really even working with her. Why is she being so merciful? But
yeah,
she ends up picking me and Alex.
and me.
That was the best part. Like after she picked you, I was like, okay, all I have to do is not pick Alex now.
What? Wait, why is that?
Because in my mind, you guys don't work well together. I don't know why. And therefore, if you're on a team together, it's more likely that Ken will go into elimination.
I have no idea whose audio is going to get picked up between the two of you talking at the same time just now. Wait, Maddie's.
Were we working closely together before that day?
You and I were working closely together. Well, real quick, Maddie, go ahead and say what you said first, because you and Ken were talking at the same time.
I just said that if you guys were on a team together, then I knew that it would be maybe a struggle for your team, and that Ken would be more likely to go into elimination.
Well, what was it? Valid point, because Ken and I do have a little bit of a moment in episode 4 where communication might not have been our strong suit between each other. And then Ken, what were you saying a little bit ago while you and Maddie were talking at the same time?
No, I felt like we were good up to that day. We had been talking a lot, especially in the laundry room or the pantry and stuff.
Yeah.
It wasn't until the Marshawn vote where I'm like, hey, you're not voting for me, right? And he said, oh, I don't know yet. But things kind of broke down.
Well, contextually, for context on that one, because it does come up, only because I feel like I'll forget it later. When it does come up, like Alex is not really committing, he's not telling me anything. When you asked me who I was voting for Marshawn, but you asked while we were in front of Marshawn. So I'm like,
I thought you were voting for Jack. I was asking all my allies, including you, to vote for Jack. That's why I'm like, why is he not saying? But you could have just said, I'm not voting for you, Ken, and that would have been fine.
Well, that wasn't the question, Ken. That was not the question.
Well, I asked who you were voting for. Right?
You said, who was I voting for? And I was like, I can't say it because he's in the room with us. So that was that part. But Maddie brings up a very good point, because Ken and I had a bit of a struggle in the block balancing challenge. And then the behind-the-scenes tea. Sorry?
No, go on. There was behind-the-scenes tea. I feel like there was more.
Oh, there was more tea. So my favorite part about this episode, and it makes sense they didn't include it. Ken pulls me aside after the teams are picked, and he pulls me aside and he like, look, it's either hands on the shoulders or he grabs my hands. He's just like, I need you to try on this one. And I was like, and I was like, oh, because I've been throwing every competition since it started, Ken.
Instructions on what way the blocks were supposed to face.
Oh my goodness! You and I will have this fight another day.
Listen when you said in, out.
Oh my gosh! It's like I'm clearly
5 seconds.
I clearly
would all have been fine that round.
No, and what's funny is you can blame the 5 seconds on me. If you would just stepped out of your hexagon without waiting for me to say in, we could have made up that 5 seconds. So you can blame me all you want, Missy, but it ain't that kind of fight. Anyway, that being said, the logic was logicking as far as Maddie making sure that Ken and I were together, because I was like, oh, this could go a couple of different ways. But it was a vibe, and it was, I think we actually did particularly well. Obviously, it's the telephone story. I was terrified. I've only ever done a telephone story once prior, and I think I went 3rd out of 6. And I kept all the information that were questions, but I still dropped a lot of information.
No,
so
I
was terrified.
I thought you and Antoinette did perfect. I was mad that Reynolds can't do math. Like, day 1 means day 1. You don't count 24 hours of day 1 going to day 2 and day 3. So when he said like 66 hours on a day 1 to day 3 trip, I'm like, girl, like that math is not good. But I also did mess up. I didn't remember that the cruise was going nowhere, so I didn't pass that along. So I'll take
Well, my favorite was when they asked the question in the challenge, where it's like, where was the cruise going to? You were like, oh, they didn't tell us, and I was like, they wouldn't have made it a question if they didn't tell you.
Yeah.
So I was like, this is an interesting story that we are getting from Ken that I'm not confident is 100% true. So what was it for the rest of you? Do you remember enjoying this challenge? I felt better about it since I was second to last. Antoinette gave me a lot of information. I was able to recite it seemingly fairly well. How did y'all feel about the challenge?
So I felt like super great about this challenge and that I didn't have to participate in it. And like memory is not my strong suit. Like I won that captain's challenge by pure luck, the other one. And I knew I would have failed any team that I was on. So I had a great time hanging out by the pool in the sun with Rose. And we had like our first like really like kind of getting into the game talk. And I was feeling her out. That's what I was doing.
Very nice.
I just want you to go back and look at the footage. So just to be clear, I did my job perfectly. I was told information. I gave the information. Specifically, I was told so many things that I was like, we're screwed. This is not nearly enough information. There's so much missing here just based on what I had done before. The minute we start hearing the questions, you can see me in the background, just head in my hands, just like, oh, we're fucked. There's no shot we're getting more than 2, like 3 of these right. Because it's like, where did the cruise go? I wasn't told we did anything with the cruise. How long was it? I don't know. That information wasn't told to me. So, like, I just know that we're screwed over. I know I'm going back to the vote for a 5th time. I know that my name has already been out there last round. And I, in that moment, am just immediately formulating a plan of what the fuck am I going to do?
No, yeah, I think the green team, we left that situation under the impression we had 5 correct. Because obviously we had missed the how many hours question, which I don't know. I don't think anybody got that question right. But we did have we went into results thinking we had 5 right. So when they said by a vote of 5 to 4, or not a vote, but by 5 points to 4 points, you can see me kind of get taller in my chair, holding hands with everyone. And then they said, "Congratulations, red team," and you can see me going, "Wait, what?" Because we were so convinced we had it on lock. We thought we absolutely had won it, and sadly that was not the case.
I don't remember what else we missed though. Besides nowhere and the hours, what was the other question we missed? Is that a 7?
Well, I can't remember. I honestly can't remember. I'm thoroughly impressed that Molly was able to pull Miami completely out of the sky.
Out of her ass.
I know. Like, congratulations to her because that was amazing. But yeah, I almost wonder what would have happened had she not been able to sort that one out. But of all the ports that exist, she just happened to guess the correct one. Molly's amazing. But yeah, so sadly for pretty much, well, yeah, what was it? Maddie was immune because he was a captain. So Ken, Jack, and I all go into deliberations, and oh, what a time we had. I don't know who wants to kick this off, but feel free.
I first just want to start by stating some very interesting statistics because they end up being kind of brought up. So this is Stevie's 5th win in a row.
Yes. Yep.
He has still never had a vote. He has never been in danger. He has never had to cast a vote or do anything in this game. This is Antoinette, myself, Lee, and Monty's 5th vote in a row.
Shit.
With the only note on that is that for the other 3, they've been a captain at some point during that. I have been in hell.
I told you, Jack, we were trauma bonded, all right? I meant it when I held your hands, and I'm like, I'm not going for you. I already feel bad for you. You know, like, it sucks. Yeah.
But yeah, I'm going to be honest.
Fix your face, Matt.
I very much with this strategy session, I wanted to lay back and be like, I'm just going to pray the drama from last round doesn't come up and throw my name out again. I don't need that again. I will break in half if that happens. Like, it's just not going to work. So I just need everyone to shut up and stop saying my name.
Well, had I not been the only person voting for you last round, I should and would have gone for you again, because afterwards people are like, you dropping Alex and you saying other random names just makes us nervous because you've already said Jack and people, so you should not be mentioning new names. So I wouldn't have done that had you gotten more than just my vote last round.
Well, we do see the moment where I think it's 5 or 6 of us, and they didn't show it, but I had been asked like, oh, so Ken and Jack's names have come up, and I was just like, the only thing that I have on either of them is the puzzle or the block stacking challenge from the round before, and my heart dropped directly into my uterus because while I'm saying that out loud, you turn the corner and come into the room, and I'm like, oh no. Because he's going to hear that I've said his name and he's going to think I'm pushing for him to go, which, completely for the record, I was not. But I also was that person where I was like, hey, this is just what's going to happen. And then you came over and I tried to clear the air on that. And as I'm talking about it, I'm like, I'm probably making this worse. I'm fanning the flames of what is probably about to just get ready to happen. So,
no, it's not. Who then? If you weren't saying any names, then who would you have voted for if that didn't transpire? And just
if
like
that,
you were blank slate.
I was a blank slate. Here's the trick. I think they've only showed it maybe once. Because y'all heard me say it a million times while we were out there. I didn't know. I knew that you and Jack and Sam had played in the game together. I didn't know what all the pre-existing relationships were, and I had very few people who were like, I got you, we're going to rock this together. So I was very much let me go ahead and see what names are being thrown out there and try and figure out something for myself. Because I walked into the game knowing Derek, or having been familiar with Derek, and that's it. And we had never played together. At this point, he and I don't even think had actually had a strategic conversation other than, you good? I'm good. So I wasn't throwing a name out just out of fear of, heaven forbid, what was it? Ken threw out your name to Derek, not realizing you two were connected, not from before the game, but in general. So I was like, I'm about to wait. Well, what? Yeah. So I was a blank slate, just in the sense where I was like, I prefer for a woman not to go, but also I'm not throwing out a name if I got to throw out a name. So once the Ken name started getting traction, I was like, maybe if it ain't me, I'm all right. So to answer your question.
Words.
So Ken, walk us through. You come down the staircase. You hear some big-haired skank talking about you. What is your thought process when that happens?
No, as I said earlier, I was still shocked from the round before where I really thought it was me or Jack, and none of my allies voted for Jack. So I'm like, okay, well, I can't go for Jack again. Let's pick someone else that might ruffle the least feathers. And Alex, you had confided in me in the pantry, like you don't think anyone's talking to you, that you're not really close with anyone. I'm like, no, I'll work with you. It could be you, me, and Lee, I think maybe. But I'm like, maybe this point, because I was mad at Jack for messing up the ice thing because we were far behind from the ice challenge. And I was mad at you, Alex, because of the block thing. And I'm like, why am I still on the team with these people that keep screwing me over and we're all in the boat together? So I was kind of annoyed at both you guys. And
fair.
And the whole
no, it's not.
Huh?
You're mad at them for the challenge performance itself? Is that what you're saying?
Had the challenge gone differently, then my name would not have come up as much. I wouldn't have been in danger as much. But anyway,
okay.
I'm gonna politely disagree with that. I think your name still would have come
if
up.
I was safe, why would my name come up if I was safe the last round?
No, I think you would have been immune, but you survived that vote anyway. But your name was already coming up because people were coming up to me, I want to say as early as, if not the Veronica vote, then the Marshawn vote, saying Ken is kind of doing a lot. And I was like, I can see that.
Doing a lot in terms of what?
As far as strategizing, throwing names out, putting people a little bit, or making people a little bit nervous about like, what is Ken doing? And after our little moment with the block thing, I was like, so I'm, again, as a person who talks a lot, I'm like, I'm going to do the opposite of what comes naturally, and I'm going to not say much and see where the boulder starts to roll, so to speak. So I think, respectfully, and I'm not throwing shade at all, I think your name would have already been coming up even if you had been safe, you just would have been safe that particular round where you didn't leave anyway. And y'all can keep me honest, or y'all can disagree. Let me know what y'all's thoughts are. That's where I remember viewing the situation.
Yeah. Aside from like some people saying like Ken's doing too much, as soon as it seemed like Stevie was like definitely against me, and then I heard that like that conversation had happened. Ken, I was out. I'm out. Like on Shark Tank, I'm out. But I also I've heard also like just for our connection, people like both of us were anyway, just for that alone. So maybe some connections don't really work to your advantage in the game.
No, they don't. Yeah, so I thought pitching Alex, because Jack got no votes the last round, maybe he was very protected, was my only alternative. And I'm like, okay, maybe it would ruffle the least feathers if I pitched Alex. And that's kind of what I went with. Yeah, because I felt like because of the Marshawn thing, we had broken trust as well.
For me, at least, I don't know whether or not saying my name would have worked. I feel like there were at least enough people, like if you listen to the conversations last round, if Marshawn isn't there, my name is a lot more digestible for people to say. So I feel like, oh, well, we have Jack and Ken kind of going at it. Maybe it would have at least shifted a couple votes here and there. Yeah. I do think your name was at least a little out there from the night before. And this was just like the perfect storm of, well, it looks like this is the right time, I guess. It's all about timing in this game, and for some reason, now was the time.
I mean, it also sucked that Stevie and Molly, and I forgot who else was on the other side, weren't voting, because I don't think Stevie would have voted for me.
Yeah.
I don't think you would have.
I think Molly wouldn't either, because I know Molly was close with Maddie, but Molly and Molly, I thought were really close too, because I liked her off the bat with Derek. So
yeah,
he's on the other
side. Likable gal, that Molly. So really likable gal.
Yeah,
we love her, Miami Molly. That's what we should start calling her.
Miami but who else was on the team that wasn't voting though?
So
it was Andrew. Sorry, go ahead.
Andrew, Derek, Molly, and Stevie, all four of them are off the table.
Right.
Not
I don't think
voting.
Derek, Molly, and I thought was very close with me, and so was Stevie. So I don't think those three would have voted for me. I think they would have been more likely to vote for Alex, or maybe even you, Jack.
Probably.
I mean, you might be right. You might be very right.
It was really. It didn't end up really well that round with how the group saw together. But
I don't know. I was really pushing like basically all the social capital I had to do whatever it took. Also,
and I thought I had social capital, but then no one voted for Jack that round. I was flabbergasted. So I mean, those 2 rounds back to back were very, very intense for me. But can I say how graciously I bowed out? I didn't wail.
You were so gracious.
Bye. I'm like, thanks so much. I had a good time.
No, you had a remarkably gracious exit from the game.
I'm just used to it, you know.
Right? Exactly. I was just about to say, Ken, you're occupying like this much of your screen. I'm like, we got to get you. There he is.
All right, hi.
I was like, we got to get you in frame, my friend. Oh, hello. Maddie, is that your husband?
It is. It's Anthony. The dogs are barking. So now.
Hi, Anthony.
Hello.
Bonjour and stuff.
What?
All right.
So just to move on, because we do want to get this slightly moving, we do have just some like small story beats off to the side of Maddie and Molly. You kind of like establishing like, you know what? Yeah, me, you, Derek, this probably works in terms of a trio that wants to move forward. That we saw that a little bit last round with you and Derek. Now we see you and Molly kind of just like square it up. How did you feel? Like, obviously Molly is safe. So, both of you are safe. So did you just take that round to essentially just solidify it?
Yeah, me, Derek, and Molly were all safe that round. I wanted to make sure that I would touch base with Molly one-on-one. Like, this is something the three of us had like talked about like since the first day, but like hadn't really had to like test it. We were on a couple of winning teams together a couple of times, but like we were just like all like, we good until that point. And yeah, but I that was like that was a time that I was just like was checking in with her, brought it up, and it was like, yeah, this is already good. And coincidentally enough, like they were just like the best vibes that I got off the bat for me, for my game. And I voted for them for the blind vote for captain. So I was just like, people I want, you're coming together, please, with me. And I feel like the feeling was mutual. Maybe we'll see. I don't know.
A bit mutual.
It seemed a bit mutual. It seems mutual. It seems.
I mean,
mutual.
Derek said that he was happy that we were his closest allies, but we were at odds, and it made him easier to be in the middle. For some reason, he said that he was happy with that dynamic, which I don't fully understand, but that's what he told me.
Yeah, he was happy with the dynamic. Me and Derek were in sequester together, and I saw behind scenes. I saw you walking out the window on the outside path with like a group or whatever. And I turned to him and I was like, I think we're going to throw up. Oh no, I think I'm going to die. I think I'm over. I think, oh no, we're going to have to play different. Oh no, it's all over. He was like, what? Who? And I was like, it's Ken. It was so bad.
Ken, did you know Derek before this game started, or did you?
No, how did Gabby know Derek? No. I didn't realize.
Derek was like, "Who's Ken?" And I was like, "He's a doctor. He sucks. I hate him."
How did you know Derek?
I didn't know Derek.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah,
I was together because at the airport to Tennessee, I saw a flamboyantly dressed man in like a print two-piece, very bold. And was like, well, what else is this young man going to be doing in Tennessee? Must be playing. And yeah, I think I have a recording of that somewhere on my phone when I'm like in the airport. It was like, there's this guy. He's looking at me. I think he's he was.
So we also do have an interesting trio of moments this episode. Of Sam deciding to try and change the narrative. Sam has realized, you know what? Hey, people who've been getting votes are going home repeatedly, and I don't want that right now. Hey, Derek, Ken, Jack, can you just let me just pitch to you to go for Antoinette?
Crazy idea. Crazy.
And I think Derek in that moment is like, I'm like, oh, like I thought Sam was going to pitch like someone who had come up multiple times. No, this was out of nowhere.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh,
I was happy that he was doing it. I was happy that he was putting himself out there. I guess receiving a hinky vote put him in that mindset where he was going to get chaotic, and the
wheels are turning for sure.
The wheels are turning. He's not gonna let it happen to him. No. Oh, Sam.
Yeah, when they dropped when he came in and dropped Antoinette, I know I was in the room with Lee and was it Reynolds? I can't remember.
Reynolds, yes.
I was there.
You were also there.
Oh, that's right. Maddie was in the room, and I just remember being like, what is it about estrogen that this cast just hates? I'm so confused. And what was it? I make my comments and talking about like, why are we just getting rid of all the women? And Maddie, like, without even skipping a beat, just goes, I don't even care. I want Ken. And I was like,
yeah, I was like, you're barking up the wrong tree, baby. Like, you think that I'm gonna like sit here right now and vote out Antoinette when like it's going on Ken? It's wild, especially because like this is just after the conversation that me and Ken had upstairs. or was it upstairs? I don't know where it was.
Yeah.
But
I think it was laundry room.
Laundry room.
why are you talking to me first thing before the elimination starts? What was the why? Did you think there was a chance? What were you trying to do?
Yes,
because I was just
really
like,
didn't feel like I was
tuned out.
guilty.
You what?
I didn't feel guilty. I felt like I literally presented Derek both options. I was trying to come off neutral because I literally said I really thought that he had chose Maddie's side and Steve was going out, which I was fine with. I wasn't pushing him in either direction. I was just telling him kind of both sides. So I didn't really feel like I betrayed Maddie at that point, honestly. I didn't feel like there was any point in me putting my neck out there, like I said in the episode, because I didn't have a vote and I was vulnerable too, so it didn't make sense. So what I said, I felt like I was being honest with Maddie, and so I was hoping he would come off with me.
So okay.
Maddie, was there any hope of that possibly turning to where you could have forgiven that? Or
He already wasted his power to get me out.
I don't think that I wasted it at all,
He already
actually.
used his power to get me out.
I think I used it pretty well.
You
but
did. You did amazingly.
no, because I trusted the information that I was getting. I knew that regardless of whether Ken and I were maintaining the specter of working together or not, that there was still going to be eyes on us, as a unit that either needs to be dragged along or broken up eventually. And while I was safe, it just had to be done so I could move on. I needed to move on to the next.
Yeah.
There was more, I wanted to have more going on in my game than that. And unfortunately, I just once anything came up, I was gonna. Once Ken were to give me any inkling that I couldn't trust him, I was going to move forward with the assumption that I couldn't.
I mean, it makes sense. Me and Maddie were both fighting for Molly and Derek's devotion and alliance. I was talking with Derek and Molly the night before about us three and Antoinette. And so also I was going after one of Maddie's closest allies, which I thought was Jack. So I'm like, if I'm trying to take out Maddie's ally and trying to bring his other two, then it would make sense for him to get rid of me.
Right. So it sounds like you respect the move.
Yeah, it made sense.
Yeah. And then what was it? We can totally edit this question out if it's too pointed. How much at this point? Because I'm genuinely curious. Because obviously, game's over. Everyone kind of
we only
explained.
made out once before that.
I've heard a higher number than that, but we'll get into that later. That being said, once you saw each other, how much was there scale of 1 to 10? How much was there? I gotta get him before he gets me. Because Maddie, you had mentioned you had played in 2 games with Ken, and he had outlasted you. So was there just I gotta get in there and I gotta get him before he gets me a third time, or?
It wasn't so much.
Okay.
A lot of people have voted me out in my life. I've been voted out many times. Happens.
I think we all have.
The game that I play, actually, right? It was
It's
really
the
the
normal
way.
thing.
It was really the way that it happened that had me so salty. And we don't need to get into that. Ken knows what he did. The second one,
I don't know what I did. I don't, because Maddie came for me first in Traitors. Okay.
All right, we're getting ready.
Well, we can definitely dissect that on a Traitors podcast, but
bribery is the only word. Anyway.
What the fuck is that? Okay, we will discuss this at some later point.
We're gonna have a bonus episode.
What the fuck do you mean?
Bonus episode for sure.
Bonus episode.
I
Okay.
bribing people to get me out.
Yeah. All right. So we had Jack. You were talking about 3 kind of sub points or subplots.
Yeah.
So we had Sam throwing out Antoinette.
Sam throwing at Antoinette. The first sub point was to Derek, myself, and Ken. The third was the other group of Alex, Maddie, and Lee.
Yeah.
The middle point is him going to Antoinette, admitting it, and saying it was a joke. I want to be clear.
Oh my god.
He throws it out to us, says to Antoinette, hey, so I did this because I didn't know who else to throw out, and I didn't throw it out seriously. Antoinette immediately sees through this of like, sure, okay. And then later on, he just does it again.
Yeah.
At one point, I was thinking he's smart to be like, I just threw a name out. I'm so sorry. And even though it's like that's going to sound shady regardless of how you try and doctor it up. But then the fact that he went out and did it almost immediately to the group that Maddie and I were in,
wow.
that was like I got to give kudos for being bold as brass, but damn.
I mean, part of me thinks he wanted to save me, though. And obviously the whole ability. But I thought I was working with Sam. You know, we wanted him in the Coliseum. We wanted Jack out to bring Sam in the Coliseum for the Coliseum.
How dare you?
Who is we, though?
But Sam's like, oh, I'm going to stay in the living room to keep eyes and ears on everyone else. I'm like, that makes sense. You know, I trust you. I like you.
That was my thought process on the first night, was to sleep where I could kind of see everyone. And then when it's like, well,
Sam had a great relationship. So, you know, part of it, I think he was trying to save me. And,
Yes, Maddie.
I don't know. I question. I understand, because like as one of the biggest personalities in the game, as I've been called, me what? I understand the wanting to keep, you know, other targets around and like try. He's crawling around on the ground.
I was gonna say, hopefully not for our sake, and that's just a
no, the dogs.
Happening.
Understand wanting to keep bigger targets around. But Antoinette, I don't know. I just feel like Jack would have been the smarter choice, but he was connected to Jack too. So Sam, I don't know. I feel like he was fighting an uphill battle. I don't know how he thought he was going to pull that off. That's a question for Sam. I don't know.
Fair.
That started to raise a red flag for me as well. Like, not that I wasn't like kind of hoping that he would become chaotic and be this way.
Yeah.
Like already. But then once it actually started to happen, I became, you know, I was becoming worried about
You're a bit worried about our dear friend Sam.
Because what's he gonna do then? Then what's he gonna do? If he's gonna win, what's next, you know?
Well, I did love at least the logic with your reaction right there. That's why we got to get rid of her. Obviously I was not on board with it under any circumstance, but I was like, from a logistical strategic standpoint, it's like, yeah, get rid of the people that are hiding in plain sight. But to Antoinette's credit, nobody seemed to be remotely even fluctuating with the idea of that's a thought. It really didn't. I think. Sorry.
Why do we think this is? Like at that time, like I just read Antoinette as like, you know, kind of quiet, but like straightforward, like type of player. I didn't really view her as like necessarily a physical threat in any way. And I
thought she was close with Molly. They were both in the Coliseum. I
knew she was close with Stevie. I knew she was close with Molly. I don't know.
Wait, what?
I knew she was close with Stevie. I knew she was close with Molly.
I didn't know she was close with Stevie. I had no idea who Stevie was close with besides Monty's roommate. No, I had made a Final Four with Antoinette the night before, so I wasn't entertaining it either. You know, I was like, whatever, Sam. Like, I'm not pushing that one.
Yeah, no, and that's to her credit, because I think you and I both knew, Ken. We both knew that we were in danger, and her name came up, and we were just like, no, I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
I'm like, if 6 people come up to me and say it's her or you, I'd probably be a little bit more open-minded. Right, yeah. But until that was happening, I was like, I'm not voting for Antoinette. That makes no sense for me or my game. So
yeah.
So Jack, I did have the question for you. At this point in time, your name is not coming up at all. How are you at that point? If you can recall, were you like worried there was like a blindside plan? Were you worried that something shady was still going to come up?
Yes. I mean, believe me, when your name is thrown out for 3 rounds, and it's kind of mentioned in the second, No, you just assume that your name is out there, and this time people aren't telling you because they're about to take you out. So literally that entire round, obviously I'm not like going crazy paranoid over it, but there
Right.
is a part of me that's going, how fucked am I? How likely is it that everyone is just saying my name?
Yeah.
And I mean, we see a little bit of me and you, Alex, just going like, Alex, no one is saying your name.
Yeah.
Basically, everyone is on Ken. You're good. And then
Yeah.
I'm just like, just tell me really quick, are the votes on me? Am I done? And you just like affirm, no, that's not the case. And for once, like, I'm just like, okay, I am good and not in danger for one fucking round.
Yeah.
Because
I think we both kind of affirmed each other just in the sense of, if it's you, I'm being left out of it because I had not heard your name at all that round from what memory had been brought up. And so, yeah, to my knowledge, Antoinette had been brought up, and then it was basically the battle between Ken and I. Which, Ken, I don't know about you. I thought in my head, it could be me. A bunch of people might want to keep in Ken for the Maddie Ken-ness of it all. So I was like, this might be my round. Going into the actual vote reveal or going into the vote, where do you, if you can recall, where were you confidence-wise on how things were going to shake down?
I think because of the round before where I voted by myself, I was not confident at all. I already thought I was winning the round before. So at that point, I was already pretty defeated and kind of given up. And then seeing that Molly, Derek, and Stevie were voting, like, I mean, I was just pretty much fucked.
Yeah, it was tough because I hated that it kind of came down to the two of us kind of having to go at it because up until, or what was it? You had mentioned it the night before. I did have a moment with you and I had a moment with Sam where I was like, I feel like these people like me as a human being, but very few people are even like broaching the topic of strategy with me. And when I try with people, they're just like, yeah. And I'm like, well, that can't be good. So I was in my head, and when it did come down to the two of us, I was like, damn, I don't want this to be the case, but I also don't want to leave. So that's my point, is that there are people that I liked. There are people that I was like, I feel as though I'm an option for these people. I don't feel like I'm a priority for hardly anybody. And that was just the point I was making.
Gotcha.
Was I felt like if it was either like hey, it's teams of 4. If I was in a group with 4, unless specific people were with me, there was a good shot I was in danger if only like 4 people were going to a vote. Is more so what I was addressing, as far as I feel like there are people that know each other and relationships I'm not aware of. There are people that have bonded and made strategic alliances that I'm not aware of and that I'm not a part of. So yeah, so Ken kind of did have, and this is also like night 1, or not night 1, but after the Veronica vote, because we basically had the rest of that night off, and there was a moment, I can't remember if we talked about it in another episode of Recendance, where I walked into the Coliseum. There was like 6 people in there, and within 60 to 90 seconds of me being in there, half the room left, and I was like, oh, I've done something horrible to some of these people because they do not want to be in the room with me. So that was more so what I'm referring to as far as pulling Ken aside and being like, I think I might have like either annoyed someone or pissed someone off or something like that. So that's more so what I was referring to.
I don't think you did at all. Is all I'm saying.
I don't think I did either. That, you're in the game and your brain is just spinning. And you're just like, when half a room kind of leaves very shortly after you arrive, it's not a great look, and it's not a great feeling. Because I'm like, are all 3 of you peeing at the same time, just not announcing it, or what's happening? So it was very that. So
I do want to give a shout out to Monty. He was the only other person I knew going to the game besides Maddie. And he didn't vote for me. He was very loyal. We could have worked together longer, but he was like, yeah, let's keep us know each other quiet. And he still didn't vote for me. He voted for Alex. So,
and that's the day that he was officially dead to me. So,
really?
No, not at all. I love Monty. Monty's amazing. Well, what was it? And you see, when I get my first vote, Like I'm clapping. I'm having a good time.
Yeah, that was so funny.
I'm like, if I'm getting voted out, you're not seeing me. You're never going to blindside me ever because I go into every vote expecting to catch votes. And number two, if I'm getting voted out, I'm going out with a smile. Like y'all, it really just is a game.
And Lee making Maddie look like the hinky voter yet again.
No, well, what was it? Monty was the hinky voter this time. Oh,
Wasn't a
Monty and
hinky
Lee.
voter.
But Lee's whole goal was to make you, Maddie, look like the hinky voter.
Oh, that's right.
Oh, okay.
So once again, we have Lee deciding, how can I get someone to spiral? And he throws another vote on Sam for all of his shenanigans this round, which, to be fair, was the correct decision, as he couldn't see I was mid-panic attack at this point. I was in hell. If he had thrown a vote on me, I probably would have just collapsed on the spot.
Oh.
I don't know how much anybody really cared about the hinky votes. In all honesty, because like nobody came up to me and was like, Maddie, I heard like you're probably like the one who is like doing the hinky votes. Like I was never concerned about that. Nobody brought it to me, and they would have if they heard it.
It made me trust you less.
Don't know why, Lee. Well, that's okay, Lee. Good.
I do know going into the next episode, I can't remember who it was. It was so long ago. Someone's like, who do you think your second vote was? And I looked them down in the eye and said, I'm pretty confident. I don't care because I'm still here.
Wow. Right. Shit.
Oh, right. I was like, I'm looking through my giant bag of, fucks, and I'm not finding a single one. So clearly I'm depleted.
Nice.
But yeah, I could not have cared less. I was sad to see you go in the, this isn't how, if you and I had to ever go against each other, I was hoping it would have been further down the line.
Aww.
But I also was like, maybe it's you or me, and I sure the hell don't want it to be me. So I was gonna say, you've got lives to save outside of this game.
I felt like I had a lot of allies besides Maddie and Jack.
You did.
You did. Unfortunately, most of them here were unable to vote because they were all safe. So this does feel mildly like a perfect storm scenario of, well, all of my allies couldn't save me. I mean, we get a small confessional of Stevie saying, like, I'm trying to save Ken, but no one is listening. Like, it's just the simple perfect storm of not enough people behind you and everyone just kind of being okay to drop it. So,
yeah.
But I mean, with that, we reach the end of the episode.
We have, like, in record time. So,
I mean, it's been great sitting with 3 people that voted me out. So,
it's there. I imagine it's very therapeutic. I bet. It's like, love you. Yeah. So, what was it? We do see a 7-1. What was it, Ken? It sounded, from your answer earlier, it sounds like you weren't particularly shocked that the vote went the way that it did.
I mean, I've been voted out fourth so many times. I was like, okay, please don't be fourth. I'm traumatized by this number. And after I made it out of 4, I'm like, okay, well, whatever.
Were there any votes against you that you ultimately felt, if not betrayed by, or like, oh, wow, I thought maybe I might have had that person voting with me? That I know that might be a hard one to answer so far after it happens, but
can you put the votes up one more time?
I absolutely can. Hey. It was Alex, Antoinette, myself, Maddie, Reynolds, Rose, and Sam.
Yeah, I mean, it made sense for Maddie. All 3 of you guys to vote against me. I mean, Rose, I wasn't working with. So, yeah, it was, I mean, I didn't think Sam and Antoinette would, but I get, it's the majority, I don't think they were really pushing for me, but they're pushing for each other almost. I don't know. Yeah, I thought me and Antoinette were sort of good from the night before, and I thought me and Sam were actually pretty good. But I think they just wanted to follow the majority, and I wasn't shocked. I don't blame them for anything. No. So yeah, it makes sense. But kudos for Lee for being a wild card and just keeping all this shit turning and going around. I feel like I underestimated him the most.
Did you really?
What do you mean?
That's just surprising to me.
What you don't know is not only did Maddie lie and be like, oh, I voted for you as captain, even though I didn't want it. Lee did the same fucking lie to me night 1. He's like, oh, Ken, I voted for you. And that honestly did kind of build trust because he made it spin as like a positive light. But
It was
he
a
did
positive
vote.
thing.
I don't think it is. I don't want to be that much target or attention day one and pick your teams. That could upset people. But yeah, Lee lied right off the bat and said he voted for him when he didn't, and he's doing all the sneaky votes. And I feel like everyone thought he was in their corner. I mean, didn't he make it seem like he was working with all three of you guys?
Yeah.
Wait, what?
Did Lee try working with you, Maddie? Because I know he was working with everyone on the other side of the house that wasn't in the Coliseum.
Yeah, Lee. I felt like I was working with Lee to an extent. There, felt like there was some distance at this point in the game. I did just steal his captain.
Yeah.
But I felt like we were fine. I did know him coming in, and felt like he might be this way.
Alex, I thought I brought up that you and Lee should work together. When you're like, I don't know if he was talking to me.
Yeah, I think what was it? I know at the end of the first day when we did kind of our recaps with production, you and Lee were my top two. Yeah, because I remember once the game was over, you and I talked about that because I think you had thoughts that I wasn't, and I really just think it was the Veronica. No, I think it was the Marshawn round. And then combined with the fact that I had a couple people be like, Ken is talking about a lot of names and making people a little bit leery. And I was like, oh, I can see that. But when we met, because we were in the same band group,
yeah.
I remember thinking Ken has such a warmth and what was it? You just had an energy that I was like, we're going to play very similar games. And I think by somewhere in middle of day, the first full day, I was like, oh, I misread that book very much. But because our games, and that's not a read, that's not shade. I was like, oh no, Ken is doing very much a different alignment strategically than I'm doing. And I think, and again, still not a read, I think if I tried to play more like you, I would not even have lasted as long as you did, because that's it's not really my strength to kind of have my hands in a lot of pots. So that's just historically, whenever I tried doing anything remotely touching on that, has not worked out for me. So you lead with your strengths, but you were such a force and you were such a typhoon in that game. And I think as long as you and I keep building blocks and balancing out of the equation, I think we get along particularly well.
Oh, God.
So I did feel particularly in the moment. I think it was just the heat of the moment and just the passion of the moment. But afterwards, I did feel kind of bad, with the whole. I walked into the room and you were talking to, I think it was Antoinette and Lee, and you were like, "Hey, can you give us a moment?" And I was like, "Nope."
No,
I
think,
included that. That was so intense. I think Jack was in the other room. I asked him for a few seconds. He's no. I was like,
well, I think at one point I was like, I want to be nearby Ken in case he either does a Hail Mary or does something. I want to be nearby when it happens.
My Hail Mary was telling Maddie that you were like, oh, the vibes are kind of off with Maddie the night before, hoping that would sway him a little bit, but
That actually might have been what prompted the nope situation, because I was like, I told you that in confidence, and obviously you have to do what you have to do.
And Maddie wasn't buying it, but Maddie, I'm not a liar. I have not been lying to you.
Well, I believed you. I believed you, but it was also an opportunity to bury you. So it's okay. I believed you.
Well, Alex and I had a chance to play another game together, so we're better now.
We did.
I yelled.
Oh, yeah,
I was more patient. So
what was it? I will say, we did play Glitch together, and it was quite the experience. But I did remember pulling you aside at one point and being like, I like this version of Ken. What was it? Glitch Ken, I can get along with and work with better than I could with Ascendance Ken. So and Ken and I could not get away from each other, because I kept advocating for you in a way where I'm like, Ken is so good at strategizing for these comps between Glitch and Ascendance that I was like, I want Ken around. And also I'm like, I know eventually Ken's going to go cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. And when that happens, I want him to get the attention and not me. But I also was like, eventually people are going to be like, Alex and Ken, despite all these swaps or all these team alignments, they're obviously a duo, and I kept thinking if Ken's ever immune the round that they want to break us up, I'm going to be screwed. So anyway, that being said, this is normally when we get to like the ooey gooey like love fest, but does anyone have anything else they wish to say about the episode? And
I don't have anything about the episode, but I do, in fact, have one particular question, and it is for both of you. I will start with Ken.
Oh my God.
Ken, would you rather fight one horse-sized Maddie or 100 duck-sized Maddies?
wait, is it
Maddie's
one?
already
Is
got
it,
the duck lips. I would love squashing those little ducks as quickly as I could. Yeah.
And Maddie, same question, but one horse-sized Ken or 100 duck-sized Ken?
I don't know. Whatever version I can kill the fastest.
Probably the horse.
Probably the ducks. You can just stomp on them, right?
Horse-sized dick though too. So
wait, say it again.
never mind.
I don't think.
Good night, everybody. And this is how we lose our sponsorships. This is how we get defunded.
I have a red eye to catch to Chicago, everybody.
Oh yeah. What was it? Is now the time that we discuss y'all's budding romance, or that Ken is going to be joining your marriage and y'all are going to be an official throuple in the binding laws of 2025, our year and savior of Donald Trump?
The rumors are true. The rumors are true. Out of the
You heard
ashes
it here first.
comes a phoenix, 2 beautiful phoenixes, 3 beautiful phoenixes intertwined, brought together by trauma, by rivalry, but ultimately finding
By love.
And
I
that's
mean,
what
we're even
these
now,
games really are all about, is
The
building
beef
community.
should be squashed. We're even now. Before this game, I didn't really know Maddie that well. Like, I didn't really like him at all in Traders. But as I've gotten to know him, I know he's funny, he's energetic, he wins all these comps. So I do respect Maddie now. I do like him. I would work with him, honestly, now. During the beginning of Ascendance, I just didn't care for him, so it was hard to build trust and build an alliance and work together. And like I said, we both had the same 2 people we really liked, so it made us at odds.
Yeah. No, I think things could be different for Ken and I in the future. Maybe it's not death on sight per se, but he's just gotta know to behave and my name out your damn mouth. Okay?
My eyes will be open the whole time. I'll look for everything before Matthew finds it.
You shouldn't close them. You should stay up. Yeah, absolutely.
I can't handle this level of sexual tension. Like, this is the most uncomfortable I've been since prom. That being said, Ken, as our illustrious guest of the episodes, do you have any final words, having watched the episodes, having had time to decompress? Any final thoughts about your Ascendance experience? Sorry.
Everyone should be aware of past relationships. Sometimes they can help, sometimes they can hurt, and always look for powers. And I mean, yeah, that's kind of what I learned. And don't be seen talking with too much and everybody, but I can't help it. I'm too social. I can't help it, but it is what I do, and I wouldn't change anything because I still have a lot of fun. I would hate to play a game, do better in it, but not be myself, where I'm kind of held back or reserved, because that wouldn't be fun for me.
Well said.
Gotta be you. You gotta be authentically you.
Gotta be you. What was it? I just want to say, obviously we had a great start and maybe not a great finish, but what was it? I am glad I got to meet you in this experience, even though it was a little tense. I am glad that we got to have another gaming experience together where we kind of were able to, put the silliness aside and dare I say work together in Glitch. But what was it? You are a bit of a chaos Tasmanian devil, but you are my chaos Tasmanian devil. And I live and breathe. So yeah. I don't know if Jack wants to jump in on the Love Fest, or if Maddie wants to jump in on the Love Fest.
Oh my God! Like, I know it didn't work out for us this time.
I don't know why. We were in the same Coliseum together, Jack, but we never really talked much. We were on the same teams at times too. But yeah, we for some reason, never really bonded for some reason. I don't know how that was.
It just didn't work.
Yeah.
When it doesn't work, it doesn't work. Yeah. I'm proud of us, Ken. I feel like we really gave it an honest try. And though it may not, I will say I've never encountered an LRG rival to the caliber in my mind, not like strength-wise, just like in my mind, you are my rival. To the intensity level to which I held you going into this game. And it's a compliment that I am just so proud that you are there. I am so happy. And we really gave it a try. We did. And I love that about us. And I love that we're talking. And I think that LRGs, friendship.
I mean,
bringing people together.
A great storyline since episode 1 for 5 great episodes. I felt like we were always sort of part of this. You always mentioned me in all your confessionals every time you won or you.
Right. I wanted to clear that up. Despite my snarky confessionals, I was hoping and secretly hoping that things could have gone better, but I had to slay you there.
I didn't just because I didn't like you at that point, but I do now.
What?
But I did like how we were the picture of episode 5 it was great because I feel like all the other pictures are random, but they made us episode 5 together as the poster, which was
always have us. We'll always have us.
There you go. Oh, they did that on purpose for sure.
Oh, it was very intentional. But yeah, I mean, Ken, you were such an amazing force. You were very clearly a good team leader. Maybe conversational skills during those challenges. Note. But I mean, you very clearly led people to success. There's a reason you're very detail focused and you know what you're fucking doing. And I mean, ultimately, you were a firework on this cast, and this game really felt. There was definitely a little
boring
on this once you left.
It's fine.
Exactly. It gets very boring. It's all very, there's no actual conversations. Nothing occurs. That's really interesting.
Well, never mind. That's for once we're not recording what I was about to say. Never mind.
But unless anyone else has anything else to say, I say we wrap this up.
I think we can definitely wrap it up. Thank you again.
You guys are both a lot of fun to talk with, and big personalities like all of us were. And thank you, Maddie, for agreeing to come on the show.
Oh my God. When I heard that you wanted me to come on, I was just so honored, blessed, and it was the moment, and it was iconic.
Were you surprised?
I mean, vaguely. I do know that you're obsessed with me, so.
Would you two just make out already? Oh my gosh.
I did say on an LRG application when they asked me who not to cast I wouldn't play with, I did list Maddie. But
I might have listed Ken once or twice, but I don't think I would anymore.
Right. I did list him once, and then I didn't even end up applying.
Then you moved on
I wouldn't
because
do
you're
it
an
anymore.
adult.
Huh?
Because then you moved on because you're an adult.
Right. Wait, you actually put me down too?
Yes. What? Wait, you just told me that you did. Why would you be so shocked and indignant that I did? The hypocrisy of you is like sometimes astounding to me, actually.
If this,
Well, now
Jack, this is
now
gonna.
we can see why.
Jack, this is gonna. If this doesn't get us an Emmy or for podcasting, nothing will.
Nothing will.
Literally, when Jack told me that Ken's guest star was Maddie, I was like, do we?
I said anyone but Maddie. No, I'm just kidding.
We kept it cute.
No, I was just sitting here like they either want to hash out whatever hasn't been hashed out,
Yeah.
or it's going to be a peaceful and lovely conversation.
They have to
So-
give the viewers what they want, you know? Like,
Right.
Donnie Bananas and Wes, who started out as rivals and then came together as friends.
Oh,
The challenge, Maddie, you look confused.
I was gonna say thank you, Jack, for having me.
That was a very
I don't like
large scale from
them.
Wait, does anyone know what I'm talking about?
I
Yeah,
do
I
know
just
what you're talking about, and I'm kind of with Maddie and not liking either that much.
You find a different analogy.
Then you
Which
pick
analogy? Which two people would you attach, or in this metaphor of your dynamic
Rivals
with Ken?
to who's like a rival to like I don't know, but like not them.
one. Laurel and Cara Maria, it's me and Maddie.
I'll be Cara.
I'll be Laurel, that's fine.
Okay, fine.
I live. Well, we want to go ahead and say thank you again to the Subversion team for allowing us to put this on. Thank you to Duke for also helping us post this. Thank you to the Ascendance team for allowing us to, talk about ourselves at length with their name and their blessing. We love that. Thank you again, Ken and Maddie, for keeping it so respectful and so cute. This has been so much fun.
Who would have thought?
What?
Who would have thought?
Who? I
I'm putting
didn't.
all three of you on my
I came in here expecting a bloodbath, and I will be getting a refund.
Bury that. Jack, as always, you are such a joy and a delight, and thank you for putting up with all my nonsense. You are just a dream to be doing this with, so thank you for being you.
And thank you, Alex, for doing this with me as well. It really does mean the world to have such an amazing co-host that won't get annoyed if someone throws out their name.
If anything, I'm like, I it's how I stay relevant, damn it. The big hair and talking with my hands gets boring. I need some votes. So thank you, Ken. Thank you, Monty. Anyway, love y'all so much. Thank you for watching. If you haven't watched it, what was it?
Go check out the Descendants episode that's probably posted relatively close to when this is posted. Could be a day before, could be a day after, depending on when we get this verified. So
exactly. Please support our sister podcast. And yeah, we will be seeing y'all next week when we cover episode 6 of Ascendance with the eliminated player. Who could it be? You're gonna have to stay and find out.
I don't even know who it is.
I forgot, actually.
I was gonna say I get the boot order kind of mixed up, but
No clue.
but yes,
Okay.
thank you everyone for tuning in, and thank you everyone else for being here.
bye, y'all.
Bye.
And blessings.